Hey everybody, it's Christine. Today I've got a Bella Blvd 2-page layout to share with you, and I am going to kick things right off using this gorgeous yellow background. These papers come from the Squeeze the Day collection, and then I am going to start right in creating. So I've got this 10-inch circle here that I cut out. This is also a patterned paper from the Squeeze the Day collection, and I'm going to off-center it right in the middle of my layout. So it's going to be slightly more to the right side of the layout than the left side. And then I'm going to just trim straight up the middle to get it separated. Then I'm going to start to add the pictures and stuff. So this brown patterned paper that you see actually comes from one of their older 6x8 paper pads. And I really just needed the pop of brown. And believe it or not, I've used like every piece of brown patterned paper that I have from Bella Blvd. So I had to dig into some older stash for this part, which was kind of funny because I have tons of stuff, but I use a lot of brown. So it was gone. So I'm using just this simple one from the older paper pad. I think it was from the Barnyard collection. I can't remember the exact name of it. But just using the back side of that to create a brown base. This layout is about, it was supposed to be themed for Thanksgiving, things we're thankful for, or a Thanksgiving themed layout. And so I opted to go for something I was thankful for because I just don't apparently take a lot of pictures on Thanksgiving. And so I just didn't have that much to do as far as that went. And so I decided to pull out some fall photos from a recent family trip, and I printed 2 of each person and then also 2 of my husband and I together. And I wanted to include just different shots from those couple of days of vacation. Now, it was a fall vacation, so there's gorgeous fall colors in the pictures, which worked great. I am going to just start to add one of each of those to that centerpiece with the brown background. You can also see that I added a red patterned paper strip up the side of each side of my layout. You can't see the left side right now because it's off a little bit, but it's always a little tricky to capture a 2-page layout in the screen, just because if you move it even just a little while you're working, it gets off, but you'll see the whole thing as we go. Now, I've got brown in there, I've got orange in there, I've got yellows in there, I've got reds in there. Now I want to bring in some greens. Bella Blvd has a couple different shades of green. We've got pickle juice and we've got guacamole green. And this one is the pickle juice green. And the reason I opted for that one versus the darker guacamole green was I am going to use an acrylic word later, and it is more of that pickle juice color. So I opted for the lighter shade. And I am going to just use a few of these circles as accents on my layout. One of the things I love about Bella Blvd, their colors coordinate from collection to collection. So if you are mixing and matching them from all different collections, it's still going to match. And that is just a fantastic feature because on projects like today's, where I'm just pulling from all different collections, just things that work with my pictures, it makes it still easy to work with. So if you're not just working in one specific collection, you can mix and match and make things come together still just as well. Now, I mentioned a minute ago I was going to be adding on my title. I am going to use a title that uses both acrylic words and Florence alphabets. And the way I add those acrylic pieces on is just with some simple adhesive dots from Scrapbook Adhesives by 3L. You could use like a liquid glue maybe on the back if you had a strong hold one, but I feel like the adhesive dots really get the job done, and it doesn't take a lot of them. Just sticking them on there strategically in a few spots makes them stick on really well, and you'd be hard pressed to get it back off of your layout once you've put it on there. You can see how my color scheme is all coming together to have that really great fall feel, and how those green circles that are not on yet are going to pull in some of the picture colors as well. I'm going to tell you, when you're working on a 2-page layout, it is such a different process from a single page layout. Looking at the symmetry, looking at the balance, like you don't want total symmetry usually, but you do want good balance. Also considering how the pictures come together, adding and creating motion on your layout, adding and creating texture and dimension and all those things. And while you do all of that on a 1-page layout, it's just a different ball game when you're working with 2. And I don't do 2-page layouts a lot. However, I do find that I enjoy them, and I enjoy the creative challenge for my brain when I do create them. I do have several other ones that are Bella Blvd 2-page layouts that I've done this year, and you can access those on my layout or on my channel here as well, if you want to check those out. But every time I do one, it's a good reminder of, oh, for those days where I have like a lot of pictures, I really should just do a 2-page layout, because it's just it just gets the job done, and it gets it done well, and it's there's something refreshing about seeing a 2-page layout and seeing that whole story laid out in front of you. I'd be curious to know in the comments down below, and I have asked this before, but are you a 2-page layout person? Do you ever do them or not ever? Or are you like me and you do them every once in a while, but not super often? Just curious where you land on that subject. Now I'm continuing my embellishing, and you can see right now I've got this leaf punch, and I am using the leaves, but what I am going to do is fold those leaves. And I'm going to be a little tricky with my folding. I'm going to fold them in the middle so they fold up, and then the outside 2 parts of the leaf I'm going to fold down. So it's going to create a really unique dimension underneath those. And you can see that dimension come out right there in that one that I just set down. I'm going to add those leaves in the red. I'm going to add it in orange, and I'm going to add it in brown, just to bring out that fall feel, but also to add some more color throughout. And this was just done with a simple punch from EK Success. I did notice as I was doing it that they really matched the leaves nicely that are in the Bella Blvd cut file section on the Silhouette store and the Lori Whitlock store. So if you're looking for another option, if you don't have a leaf punch, you can definitely find them in the Bella Blvd cut files, and I'm sure other cut files as well. So just you can recreate it that way. The next thing I'm going to do is just add some additional details to finish off the whole layout. One of the things that kept jumping out at me was clouds. So I pulled out several clouds from the ephemera packs, from a variety of the packs, and I flipped them over so they're white. So the back side is patterned paper, and I'm going to use the white side. And I'm just going to add those to where I've got my 3 clusters of leaves going on. Couple of things are going on here as far as creating visual details as well as some motion. I've got a good visual triangle right now going between my 3 clusters, accented by those circles, by those leaves, by those clouds. I'm also going to be adding some journaling down to the bottom left side, and that's going to create an interesting movement that was not totally intentional, but we'll pretend like it was, going kind of diagonal from the top right hand corner down my layout. And so we'll roll with that. I am also adding in just some little subtitles using different stickers and ephemera, again, from the different collections, and I'm just adding those again within my visual triangle area to kind of put a little commentary on each of those little sections. Now, I didn't want to make you sit through the whole part of me adding my quote down there for journaling on the bottom left side. However, you can see that I added it, and you can see what I was talking about. Those circles in the top right corner just kind of draw the eye down and across the layout from right to left. And that worked great. I did change up my quote a little bit. I added in some white words in bold, as well as the red words. And I started with being all red, but I really felt like certain words needed to be highlighted. And so I added in the white that way. Finally, I'm going to add in some puffy hearts and some Nuvo drops, and then it will be done. So very detailed, lots going on here. Obviously, quite a bit more time consuming as it's a 2-page layout, but quite happy with how it ended up. And so thankful for all of these fun embellishments and papers to work with. And most of all, thankful for my beautiful family. So thank you for being here today. If you've enjoyed this video, please hit that subscribe button, and we will see you again next time.